one person. Jordan.
A circle is the set of all points P in a plane that are a constant distance called the radius from a fixed point called the center.
Okay, so we've obviously already talked about circles. You had the whole circles unit. I know it was terrible, it's tragic, but here we are. So, how we are going to write out a equation is we're going to write it in our standard form. This is our standard form. Yes, I would highlight this, circle it, box it, because you're going to need it. Highlight it, circle, box it, because you're going to need it. Okay? Alright, so that equation will actually be given to you, but you're going to use that probably in pre-cal or algebra 2. So I would go ahead and memorize it. Okay, it's going to make it a little bit easier. So your HK is your center point, and your radius is your distance from the center to the circle, like the actual circle itself, right? Notice how the radius is squared in the equation, okay? And notice how there's a negative in between x and h and y and k. Yep, so far so good. We've got this equation, right? All right, so now what do we do with the equation? So down here, it says, write the standard equation for each circle graph. Be sure to simplify whenever possible. So my first question to you is, what's the center?
-3, 2.
-3, 2, right? Okay? Now, in order to figure out what the radius is, I'm going to start from the center, and I'm going to travel however many units over to where this circle is.
2.
So how many? 2. Okay? So now, I'm going to rewrite the standard equation. So, x minus h squared, y minus k squared equals r squared, right? Okay? And what am I going to do with my h and k? Where is that going to come from? My center, right? So I'm going to take those numbers and substitute them in. Okay, ready for it? So, x plus 3. Why did I write plus? Negative times a negative is a
Positive.
Okay, cool. So, y minus 2 squared equals, what's my r squared? 2 squared, which is 4. That's it. Okay, so you take your equation, you substitute in the center for h and k, you substitute in the radius for r. Simple enough? Yes, ma'am. What would this give you? Just the equation for the circle. You can actually draw it. So if you solved for y, you would get something that looks like y equals plus or minus the square root of something that looks like this divided by something. You could plug both of these in. It would draw out the graph. Yep. But that's a little advanced.
Yeah.
So we'll get there. Starting baby steps. Okay? So this is the actual equation for this circle, right? My question to you, is a circle a function? How do we know something's a function? Whoa, game over. Right, but didn't we, back in the day, have to draw a straight vertical line, and if it passes through 2 points, it's not a function? What? So my question to you, is this a function?
I remember that.
You remember the vertical line test?
I do. I passed that test.
Okay, alright, so again, we'll talk about that a little bit later. But, let's go ahead and move on to number 2. Okay, so go ahead and identify on your paper the center and the radius. The center and the radius. On your paper. Radius isn't 1. Alright, so center was what?
1 negative, 1 comma negative 4.
1 negative 4, right?
Yeah.
Okay, how do I identify my radius? Yes, Ruben?
You go to the center of the point and travel so basically 3 of the circle.
Okay, so how many units did I move over?
3.
3. So what's my radius?
3.
Okay, so now what do I do? How do I write the equation?
X minus a squared plus y minus t squared equals r squared.
Okay, so I've got this equation. What do I do now?
How you plug it in, H goes 1, and then K is positive 4. And then it will equal 9.
So good. So why is this useful? It's not useful, okay. I can do what?
Oh,
I can grab a circle, what else?
Wow.
That was what you were saying? Alright, let's talk about like real world application. When do you see like circles like this? What does it make you think of?
A rug that's a circle.
Huh?
A rug that's a circle.
A rug that's a circle, okay. Think like more kind of physics. Pizza, okay.
Cups.
What else?
A pot.
A pool. What do you mean by a pool?
Yeah.
A cylinder.
I thought a pool.
What?
What?
Wait, Dana's talking. Y'all didn't raise your hands. Pool, what do you mean? Okay.
A jacuzzi.
Like what?
Frisbee.
Okay, so let me ask this. Ready?
A dog bowl.
Okay. Alright. So, y'all have heard of like sonar, right?
No.
Yeah.
Okay. When you're in a submarine and you want to like echolocate somebody, they use this kind of stuff. They use these kind of equations. Yeah? Alright. Also to calculate like ripples. So when they do nuclear testing, they have to figure out what the radius is of the circle of damage that they're going to create, just to figure out if they're going to like explode a town nearby or not. Dana? Okay, so if you drop a rock in a pool or in a river, it ripples out, right? Want to figure out how far out it's going to go. You can write an equation. Yes? Cool stuff. Who's going to do that? I mean, you can do it today. Yes, scientists. All right, so let's try the last one. Go ahead, identify the center, identify the radius, and write the equation. Identify the center, identify the radius, write the equation.
Wait, shut up. How was it 2 times? What? No. What are you talking about? Never mind.
Okay. All right, so what's my center on this one?
0, negative 3.
0, negative 3. What's my radius?
4.
4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, now I need to write my equation, right? Okay, so now what do I plug in?
0,
X minus 0. So isn't it just y plus y
Plus 3.
plus they have to put a
I
0
thought equals
16.
Okay, somebody asked a really good question. Do we have to put a 0? No, what can I write this as?
X
X
squared.
squared.
Why'd you make it 3 pounds?
Okay, so I want you to write it in simplest form. So like if you can subtract this, do it. Obviously we can't do this because we don't know what y is, right? Okay. Forget that. Are we good on this? So far so easy, right? Okay?
Center 0, 0.
Okay, so Yunada said the center is 0, 0 and the radius is 3. Do you believe him?
No.
Alright, so Yunada, you gotta convince us. Why do you say it's 0, 0?
It was X2 and then Y2.
Okay, so he said, well, on the last one we went, well, we simplified this down to x squared, right? So that had a center of 0, comma whatever, right? Dana.
Radius is not 9. This is ER squared.
Okay, so let's go. Let's talk about it. So our center is 0, 0, and our radius is 3. Okay, it is not 9, right? We took the square root of 9, and that gave us our radius. Okay, that's the most common mistake on this next test.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Next test. 27. Got time. Alright, so now let's see how we draw these out. Ready? Ready?
Well,
Alrighty.
it could be if it's an
Marco.
imaginary number,
Okay,
but that's an
so
algebra too.
first things first, we're gonna draw our center, right? Our center is at 0, 0, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then for our radius, we're gonna go up 3, to the right 3, to the left 3, down 3. So, up 3,
No.
to the right 3, down 3,
I swear this is algebra 1.
to the left 3. It's like the electric slide, you know? Or like the...
Not really,
Or
no.
like the cha-cha slide. Right, right? Okay, don't hit on my circle. Don't hit on my circle. So, with that being said, I'm not gonna judge your circle, but what I do wanna know is that you do understand that, yes, this is going to look like a circle. Yeah? And if you really are like passionate about making your circles correct, remember how we have that compass? Okay, you can draw it that way too.
That don't work.
That's what it is. Alright, so let's look at the next one. Let's look at the next one. What's the center? Okay, I heard -2 and +2. Convince me why.
Positive 2.
Because what?
Because it flips, the sign flips.
The sign flips, right? Okay, so remember how we have in our standard equation, this mess? We have negatives already there. So that means we're gonna flip our sign, right? So if it's -2 right here, we're gonna make it +2. What's my y?
0.
0,
Okay, what's my radius?
2.
2.
Alright, so now we plot it. We start with our 0, we go 2 to the right,
1, 2.
and we go 2 up, 2 to the right, 2 down. And we connect our dots. Okay, what I don't want you to do is I don't want you to draw a really bad oval. I don't want you to draw like a square. I want you to try as much as you can to draw an accurate circle. Okay? Again, mine's not perfect, right? And I don't judge. Okay? But I want you to get as close as possible. Okay? I know it's difficult. So pretty easy, right? Pretty easy? Pretty easy. Huh? What? Alright, go ahead and look at 6 and 7 and try those on your own. Try those on your own. 6 and 7. Doesn't mean talk to your neighbor.
Sorry, neighbor.
You said you can't? Don't talk to them yet. Do it on your own. They might steal your answers. And you might.
Good job, Still don't know.
In the back. Hold on, he asked for it. Yes. Now you just gotta plot it. Or negatives. So plus. Alright, so let me check in with y'all. For your center, you should have gotten -4, -6.
I got that.
Why did I get negative? Hey, somebody explain to me, why did I get negative? Caitlin.
Yeah.
Your sign switched. Remember there's positive here? Flip it. Now? Alright, what'd you get for the radius?
Wait.
5.
You're welcome, bro.
Okay, so the first thing that you want to do is you want to grab, hey! You want to graph your center. So, -4, -6. That's to the left 4, down 6, right?
What?
Okay, so now what you're going to do, is take your radius And from the center, you're gonna go 5 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go 5 to the top from your center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down from your center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And left 5. Okay? All right, so try number 7. I'm so, it's a work in progress. Listen, I can draw a perfect circle. Now I'm
Oh.
All right, try number 7.
Good job, Cornell. You covered 7. 49 divided by 7. Go back to the first page first. I don't know how to do
No, you can't take my cup.
I'll get up on
That's all you want. All right, so let's talk about it. What's your center?
-2, 3.
-2, 3. All right, what's my radius? Beautiful. I go down, left 2, up 3. Then I'm gonna go 7 from my center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I go down 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Up 1, 2. How'd you do?
I got it wrong.
How'd you do?
I fell.
Let my circle. Okay? Let my circle live. Okay? D'Angelo, did you get it? Did you get it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Alright, so, you ready? Jordan.
Yes.
The camera's right on.
Turn around. Okay, so here's the part where math starts to throw things towards you. Okay? So is everybody okay up until this point? Okay, so do you remember last year when you were in algebra?
Yep. I remember everything because I had a decent
So,
teacher.
yeah, I don't even remember what I had for lunch yesterday, so like,
I felt that.
so, it's fine. So ready? I'm gonna say this phrase, and I'm gonna see if it has any kind of impact on you. Completing the square.
Had my head up.
Nobody's groaning yet. So somebody said it was bad. All right, so here's how this works. You ready? This is the hard part, so I need you to pay attention. You ready? You ready? You ready? All right, so first things first. The first step that you're gonna do, I would highly suggest writing this down.
It's 9 boxes, right?
I would.
Bro. Listen, where? It's 9 boxes, right?
What?
It's 9 boxes. Where is it?
What?
It's in the square. How many boxes is it?
You're talking about something else.
Bro?
Yeah. Let me do it real quick.
What?
All right, so group the like terms together. Okay, so what we're gonna do is, you see how we have x squared and 10x? We're gonna put those together and we're gonna put them inside of our parentheses. So x squared plus 10x plus, and we're gonna leave a blank at the end. Because you'll get it in a second. Alright, so you see how y is by itself? Okay, we're just gonna put it by itself over here. Okay? Do you see this plus 9?
Yeah.
I need to get it on the other side of the equal sign. So how do I do that? How do I move it? Okay, you say just move it, but
You add
subtract it,
9.5
right?
to subtract.
So when I subtract it, I'm gonna have -9 on the other side. With me so far?
Yeah.
Okay, I grouped all my x's together, put them in parentheses. Left a little blank right here. Okay, put all my y's together. Now I have this negative 9 over here, and you remember that blank I added this way? We're gonna put one over here. It will make sense in a moment. I know, it's a lot of writing. Alright, so here's what you're going to do. You're going to take your b term, okay, divide it by 2 and square it. Now, do you remember when you were doing quadratics in algebra? And you had this formula. No, not
Please don't do that.
supposed to be. You had this formula? Okay, your b term, wait for it. Your b term was the one that was attached to the x, right?
Oh
So
yeah.
what is my b term in this? 10. So I'm going to take 10, I'm going to divide it by 2, and I'm going to square it. 25. So that number that I just found, I'm going to add it to both sides.
It's a lot.
Okay, so hey, I need y'all to focus. There is one question on your EOC that is absolutely like this. Okay, so it's one of those, yeah, you could not learn this, but you have to do well on everything else. Okay, or you could just do it because you kind of already know how to do it. It's okay, we're gonna get practice. This is the first time y'all seen this in a hot minute. It's okay. Alright, so you ready for the next part? Do we understand where the 25 came from so far?
No.
Okay,
Yeah.
we took our 10, divided it by 2. That gave us 5.
Oh.
What is 5 squared?
25.
So I'm gonna add it to both sides. If I do it to one side of the equation, gotta do it to the other. Right? Okay, ready? Last step, you're going to simplify / factor. Okay? So throw back to the old days where you factored. Okay? But I'm going to teach you a quick trick. You remember that 10 divided by 2 number?
Mhm.
What is that, 5? Okay, I'm going to bring that down here. So 10 divided by 2
It's 5.
gives me 5. Just bring down the x. Do you see how I have x plus 5?
Yeah.
And I took that and I squared it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the same thing. This is saying x plus 5 times x plus 5. And then I multiply it out, right? Okay? So, my question to you, can I factor this at all?
No.
Okay? Where did the 10 go? Somebody explain to me, where did the 10 go?
It was divided.
It was divided what?
By 2.
By 2. Okay? So, over here, what can I do over here? Subtract. So what's negative 9 plus 25? 16. Does that look better?
Yes.
Can you tell me what the center is?
Center.
5 or 0.
Radius is 5, 0, right?
Negative 5.
Okay. What's my radius?
4.
4. Okay. So now you comply. So you remember when you learned completing the square last year?
Yeah.
This is what it was setting it up for.
Wow.
I know. Yeah. All right. Wait. Ask questions. Where did 25 go? Remember I was talking about how you do this? 5 times 5 is? Go. Freeman?
How did you get to 16 again?
How did I get 16? I said negative 9 plus 25.
Imagine all of this.
Georgia. Hey, y'all are talking. You can do the box method or the X. Like I do the big X where you do.
We did
your
both.
A times C,
I hate
and then your
both,
B value,
but we
and
did
then your
both.
5 and 5.
Miss Robinson made us do both.
So 5 squared. Go ahead and try number 9. Try number 9. Okay. So here's what I want you to do. Ready? Here's what I want you to do. Marco.
Polo.
Okay. I want you to group them, and then I want you to start step 2, and then I want you to stop. Okay. Group them. Start step 2, and then stop.
Say what?
Anybody got a pencil?
Motto.
Anaya, you got 70%.
What?
You'll be fine.
What?
And then you can just like either staple or copy the rule.
No. You don't remember Algebra 1? No. See, this is what I'm here for. Because Algebra 1 is a G.
So remember, if there are multiple y's, you're gonna have to group them together. You might have two b terms.
That's
Okay,
nice.
so hang on, hang tight. Just group them. Group them. Group them really quick. Off of up. Yes. All right. Have you grouped them?
No, hold on.
16. 4, 1, 8, 5, 9.
All right. So, what are all of my x terms? X squared.
X squared, there's
8x.
And that's it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna write x squared minus 8x plus blank, right?
I know how to find these guys.
And why?
Divided by 2, and then you gotta.
Okay. Whoa.
I saw you on the.
All right. Come back. Let's go. Okay. So I grouped it like this. Yeah. I'm gonna use some fancy colors so that you can see this. Ooh, fancy colors.
Bless you.
And you remember how on the last one we wrote a blank after on the right hand side where that 25 is? We do the same thing over here, but you notice how there's two blanks?
Yeah.
Okay, so first things first, we're gonna take this guy. What's my b term?
8.
Negative 8, right? Okay, negative 8 divided by 2 is what?
Negative 4.
4 squared is what?
16.
Okay?
Plus 6.
Okay, so I'm gonna do it on this side, and I'm gonna do it on this side. Okay, with me? Okay, now let's look at our y terms. What's my b term? 10. What's 10 divided by 2?
5.
5 squared?
25.
Okay.
25.
What's the graph for?
We're gonna grab it.
Wait, that's 25?
So, here's the hard part. Okay, we have done.
I didn't see it.
Y'all gonna stop talking? So, we've already grouped them. We've already done the b divided by 2 squared. We've already added it to both sides. Now we need to simplify and factor. Okay? So, remember my little trick. What's your b term? Negative 8.
Mhm.
Negative 8 divided by 2 is what?
4.
Negative 4.
Negative 4.
Okay, so minus 4 squared with an x in there.
Wait, how'd you get negative?
How'd I get negative 4? Someone tell me.
Oh, wait.
Because it's negative 8 divided by 2.
Negative 8 divided by 2. So I took my b term, divided it by 2.
Oh.
Okay. Alright, so on this y, what's my b term?
10.
What's 10 divided by 2?
5.
So I'm going to write y plus 5 squared. Okay? Everything on the right hand side you can just add together, right? What's negative 32 plus 16? 16, negative 16. Negative 16 plus 25 is 9. So look at it again. Remember that there's a negative up there. Negative 32 plus 16 is negative 16. Negative 16 plus 25 is 9. Okay? Now, can you graph it? Okay?
Yes, please go. What was the?
Have they really?
How did I get 9? Somebody explain to me, how did I get 9?
Pardon the interruption. All seniors interested in HBC college and career. All seniors interested in HBC college and career.
Okay? So,
No, I got it.
got it? Okay? Part.
It's still up there.
How did I get 9? Negative 32 plus 16 plus 25.
No.
So remember in our original problem, it had a plus 32? I subtracted 32 from it. How? How did I get what? Negative 32 plus 16. Okay, so here's what I want you to do. Go ahead and graph those two down at the bottom, if you haven't already done so. Graph those two equations down at the bottom. Take like the next minute and a half. Go ahead and graph it. Negative 5, 0. Alright, so plot those two. Do it on your paper. Four, negative 5. Four, negative 5. So square root of 9 is what?
3.
That's your radius. No, what's the square? Right. The first one is negative 5, 0, right? What's the square root of 16? So that's your radius. Up by 4, to the right 4, down 4, to the left 4. Yep. 4, negative 5. So it's so negative 5. Square root of 9. That's the radius. Yeah. Subtract 32.
Yeah, because
He
was like, Amber.
Yes, I know.
He was like, wait, why you call me?
Where's what? Compass? Okay, I got it. Alright? Are you okay on this?
No, not at all.
So remember, your radius is not this.
It's 4.
It's 4, right? So okay, remember your radius is the square root of r squared. Okay? How do we feel about this on a scale from 1 to 10?
Maybe like
0.
if we do one more.
Okay, negative. That's a lot of numbers. So 1 to 5. 1 to 5. Give me a number. 3.
3.124.
Give me a number.
5.
Give me a number.
5, 4, 4, 4.
Okay, how do we feel about graphing?
5.
Oh, 5.
Okay, how do we feel about just identifying radius and center?
Oh,
So like if I give you an equation, I'm saying like, hey, find the radius and center.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
I mean,
Alright, so Go ahead and flip the page. Go ahead, flip the page.
I'm gonna need you to stop talking, because I can smell your breath over here.
Alright,
I don't care. You need to stop talking, period, because I can smell your breath over here.
you ready? You ready? Monica.
And I turn this way.
Okay, Marco. Marco. Okay, I'll leave you alone. I got one more thing to tell you.
Finish page 75, 1 and 2.
No. Okay, so, last thing I want to tell you. Okay? Alright, so you remember how I was talking about like nuclear explosions?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Alright, so if they were like doing like TNT testing down the road, and we wanted to know if they were gonna like blow up the school essentially, right?
Great.
Right? Okay, the way, I'm trying to save your life here. Listen. Right? So, you can either be inside a circle, on a circle, or outside a circle, right? Okay. I would suggest writing this down. Okay? Alright, so if you're on a circle, okay, that means you're equal to the equation, right? Okay, so here's how I'm gonna do this. So I would take a point and plug it in to my equation. If the left side equals the right side, then I am on my circle. Okay, if it's equal, that means 9 equals 9. Okay? If I am inside the circle, that means the left-hand side is less than the right-hand side. Less than the right-hand side. If I'm outside, what is it going to be?
Greater than.
Greater than. So that means that I'm going to have to create an equation, substitute in some x and y, and see if it's inside, outside, or on. Right? Okay? So let's do example 1 together. Okay? So I'm trying to see whether this point is inside, outside, or on the circle, whose center is at -2, 3, and whose radius is at 4, right? Okay, so what's the first thing I need to do? Write the standard form. Okay, so my standard form is okay. So, ignoring this point right now, we're just looking at creating the equation. What is my h value? -2, right?
Yeah.
So that means I'm going to plug in, I'm going to get x plus 2 squared plus y minus 3 squared. And what's my radius?
4.
So I'm going to say 4 squared, which is 16, right? Okay, now what was my question actually asking? Inside, outside, or on the circle, right? So I'm going to take this point and do what with it?
Plug it into X and Y.
Plug it into x and y. Okay, so when I do that, I'm going to get 2 plus 2 squared plus 1 minus 3 squared. And I'm trying to figure out, is that equal to 16? Okay,
16 plus.
so 2 plus 2 is?
4.
4 squared is?
16.
Okay, so I got 16 over here. What's 1 minus 3?
2.
-2.
-2 squared is?
-4. Well, 4. 4. 4.
Remember, negative times a negative is a?
Positive.
Okay, so 16 plus 4 is what?
20.
So is 20 bigger than 16?
Yes.
So where is it?
Outside.
Outside, so we're not going to get hit by the nuclear explosion, right? Okay, shh. What? It is -2. Take -2 and multiply it by -2. Yeah, okay? Oftentimes we go, all right, this is -2. -2 times 2? No, -2 times itself, right? Okay, be very intentional with that. I know I just like dropped a lot of knowledge on y'all. Yeah? Okay. Y'all kind of previewed this over in the circles unit. Okay, so you probably have already seen how to plot the equations, that kind of thing. That being said though, I want you to get some practice. So, what I want you to do is flip to the next page. Okay? And go ahead and practice 1 through 6. Okay? If you get that done, I want you to go back to the back of page 5. Okay? Did you hear me? Okay, so page 6, I want you to complete first. Then go to the back of page 5 and complete that one. Yep. So this is second. So this first, and then that second.
You need some gum, bro. I don't know. What?
Oh, okay, that's fine. Alright, so you got things to work on. Go ahead and get started.
What?
No working? That page. Yeah.
The calculator's already.
If you also have not finished your parallel, perpendicular, and either, I would make sure I would get that done today.
I'm just gonna say.
I don't be quick over you.
So the distance between here and here. This unit has a lot of. I didn't do that. No, I would like to see that. I would like these. You know how y'all working? So where's Tom is right here, right? He's 25 miles east and 30 miles south. Okay, so there's a tower right here, right?
You numbered it?
Okay. So the question is, write an equation that represents all ground locations 50 miles from the tower.
Coach?
Yeah.
Do we have to do this page first?
Yes. Alright, so the radio signal is strong enough to reach a 50-mile radius. So
You said what in front of that camera?
my radius is going to be 50, right? Alright, so where is,
Exactly.
we're trying to figure out, why would you say that? Yes.
9 is the radius.
Okay, so you're saying x minus 25
The radius.
y minus 30, right? Okay, so now you got your equation. Now what? They asked me if somebody is living 10 miles east and 5 miles north can receive the radius, right? Yeah. Also, this should be plus. It's south, so that would be a negative.
You're stupid. That's because all Android cameras are better than the iPhone cameras.
So that's the center. 4 positive 1. So over 4 positive 1. Why did you go? You went 1 negative 1. Okay, so this is your x, this is your y. So positive, right.
36 divided by 16. 16
No, what's the square root?
What are you talking about?
Because every time you open your mouth, I just smell this bus and it's not
Sit
okay.
right here. Oh, sit right here. They can't even reach you right
Yes,
here.
it did.
Oh my God.
Up 6.
No.
5, 6.
Until you get your breath straight, stop talking.
And then go back to the center. Jordan, be nice.
I need a different calculator because those are
Yes, you may. A little rough, but yes. All right. So on this one, yeah, that's all right. All right, so what's your 0, right? Zero's right here, your center, and then this is gonna be what? For your center. -2, okay? Okay, and that's gonna be. So now you just bought it. Drop it.
You try to fool in this.
I don't like.
Good luck. I can respect that. Yes, baby. There you go.
It's gonna be
50 squared, so that's 50 times 50.
Sounds so country.
There we go.
Do you have money?
So when you plug it in, what'd you get? 2,500, right? So when you plug in these numbers, what did you get on the left side? You got 25 plus 70? So is that less than 2,500? So is it on this side? There you go.
Light work. Light work.
Bruh, y'all chill out,
Can
please.
someone help me with number 4?
You got a problem?
You come look at this, bro. You look at this, bro. You just want to stop with your I swear to God.
Can't you just miss a couple days of school? Or drop out?
Let me see your knees. What?
Oh, they're scratching.
Not the other one. It's tan and then it's brown.
What?
So if you're not
Today? I can't come today. Oh, because I was sitting there. But I can't come today because my dad's not going to can't give me a ride. So
are you gonna come practice?
You're gonna have to use it.
I'm gonna ask and see if I can come to practice.
You know how to, you working? D'Angelo, you working?
Might as well come free today. No, to come to practice. Just see how like
He came back in. So, Nehemiah, you working? Anaya, you working?
My fault. My charger.
Jordan, you working? You're gonna take your x values, substitute them in, and solve. That'll give you your radius, right? Why are you so overboard? You say you could work it. Selena, you working?
Yes.
No, she's not.
she rides the bench 24/7. So I don't know why she's on.